everybody. As you know, it's election day on Tuesday in New York City for mayor. And we have this incredible system called ranked choice voting, which gives us so many incredible options. I have plenty of friends running for mayor. And one of my favorite people who is running, I would say in politics, is former Assembly member Michael Blake, who I have been on the debate stage with, I have competed against. And I was like, I love Michael Blake. I felt like we had this very good bond when we ran for office
Absolutely.
together. But I've known you since your Obama days, since Gen 44. Then you became an assembly member. You ran some races here in New York City. You've got a great career, a progressive history. And I just want to say straight up, if you're not ranking Michael Blake, you are not fighting Cuomo and you are not knowing what's up. Michael Blake has a great housing policy background. He's got a progressive history. And I want to give the floor to him. If you didn't see him in the first debate, he won it by far. I think everyone knew that. He's been bringing the heat to Andrew Cuomo for years. So, Michael, I just, straight out the go, if you're not ranking him number one, rank him at the top, but you got to rank him. That's how we're going to defeat Cuomo. That's how we're going to get one of our favorites in office. And Michael, just so grateful that you're taking a minute right now because I know you're on the road running around campaigning. So tell me how you feeling.
So grateful for you. Namika, you've always been a blessing. So I'm just grateful for you every day, all the time, no doubt. And continue to use your voice for power, for good. So just much love always to you, my sister. Look, I've been telling folks, if you want to change the game, you have to change the mayor. And I am running because it's time for us to do something better. And affordability, cost of living is the number one issue people are facing. People are very scared, understandably, because of Trump. And people want to know, like, what are you going to do around public safety, but doesn't lose our values, right? And so, what I've been telling folks, we can actually do this better. We can have a housing vision where we end using credit scores for housing applications, where we can actually increase income limits for housing applications, that we can have a local median income because area median income is not working for our communities,
Smart.
that we can protect NYCHA and seniors and tenants all at the same time, where yes, you can freeze the rent and protect small property owners at the same time. You can do these things and build 600,000 affordable units in a thoughtful and real way. We can also at the same time have 1,000 mental health professionals instead of NYPD for the mental health crisis. And you can also have civics and financial literacy and mental health at the same time. And so what I'm saying to everybody is you do not need Andrew Cuomo. You need to change the game. And I want to be your first choice. I want you to rank me number one on the ballot tomorrow. If I'm not your first choice, rank me highly, but make sure I'm a part of your rankings so that we can actually demonstrate to people that everything I've been doing from growing up in the South Bronx to being a child of Jamaican immigrants to actually helping people from Obama to the block is being done right now. So if you want to change the game, then Michael Blake needs to be in your rankings tomorrow.
I think it's so important that people know where you come from because the Bronx, the South Bronx, is the poorest district in the country. And, we are in the richest city in the country, possibly the world, if you incorporate Wall Street. So this dynamic about affordability, you see Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams talking about it's not safe to be on the subway. Of course, we know both of them have barely even lived in the city in the last few years. Definitely Andrew Cuomo. But it's about affordability and housing is, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's the most important issue. And yet real estate has been, this too well. There's so much money in real estate. It's so wrapped up in Wall Street and they're doing everything they can to make it so that people can't afford housing. So I love I've always loved your housing background. I think that's how we initially bonded on stage. But in this race in particular, it is so central. It's like, to quote a previous mayor, it's a tale of two cities. You've got, Andrew Cuomo talking about a city that doesn't exist in New York anymore, and you've got everybody else in the race, you included, and all New Yorkers talking about affordability. So I'm so happy that you're making this front and center. Help us help us understand the ranked choice system because it's still confusing for a lot of folks.
Yeah, well, first on the housing front, housing and childcare are the two most critical expenses people have. And what I'm saying is, if you actually do the critical piece of a local median income, because area median income is not working for us. If you
Explain that more.
actually and
What does that
so
mean?
area median income is how your housing thresholds and percentages are determined, right? And so when you have a dynamic where Westchester, Rockland, and Suffolk County are impacting New York City affordability, it's totally misguided and miscalculated. And so when you're trying to get that apartment, when you're trying to get that home, and they're basing the rates upon area median income, doesn't really make much sense. And so what I'm saying is it needs to be a local median income. It needs to be much more targeted to your neighborhood. I'm also saying that you have to end using credit scores for housing applications. That if you do that in a very thoughtful and real way, you can move the needle to protect people and increase income limits. And then to your question around ranked choice voting. So the way this goes down, you have 11 people on the ballot tomorrow. Now, if no one gets 50% of first choices tomorrow, what then will happen is that next week, a simulation will occur of the votes. Whoever is the lowest vote getter gets eliminated, and that continues to happen until someone gets 50%. So specifically, how does this go down? If and when I go and vote, all right, you go and vote, someone else goes and vote, you know, your mom, your dad, the dog catcher, whoever it is out here, right? If that candidate, if their voter says that their first choice gets eliminated, then the second choice for that voter then gets their vote. So that's why it's so important, everybody, that you really think through who's your first choice and then who's your second choice. So that if your first choice doesn't get enough votes, it can then move to the second choice. And if your second choice gets eliminated, it moves to the third choice. We don't have runoffs any longer, everybody. It's just one time. And so that's why I'm being very direct to everybody. You know, I have the credentials from my brother's keeper to raise the age to what we did on the campaign trail to look, I defeated Donald Trump when I was vice chair of the DNC. Like I'm actually can say that I'm the only one in this race who has actually been a part of a team that has defeated this man. So if you want to have someone who has the credentials and the street cred, then I'm asking that you tell every New York City resident who has not voted yet to rank me as their first choice. And if I'm not your first choice, I want to be your second choice. If I'm not your second choice, we should be talking about that, right? Because I want to make sure I'm in that ranking for you so that people can understand. And I tell people, go to our website, go to BlakeFORNYC.com, go to BlakeFNYC.com. You can learn about our vision about how we can change the game together.
Thank you, Michael. Best of luck tomorrow. Guys, go out there and vote. Remember, tomorrow's going to be very hot. But remember, every single rank matters, and definitely don't rank Cuomo, without a doubt. But if you haven't thought about this yet, there are a few great folks out there. And of course, Michael, you and Zaran endorsed each other. You're supporting each other. You're ranking each other, as is Brad Lander and Zaran. So there's a lot of progressives out there. But you are critical, I think, to this race in so many ways. So let's put all the support behind you. Michael, best of luck tomorrow. I know you're out there campaigning. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Great for you, sis. Always. Much love, everybody.
Wow.